The aim of the game is trying to keep Sprout, our little healer here, safe from all the monsters who are coming straight from the side, straight towards him to kill him. There's a couple of ways that we can win or lose the game. We can win the game by gaining 5 success cards, by keeping this area clear for the entire turn, or at least at the end of the turn, or by killing all the monsters. All the monsters means these 22 cards here and those 4 other cards here. So in total, if we kill all 26 cards in an easy game, then we win the game. We can also lose the game by letting anyone die. So either Sprout dies or one of our characters dies, the game is over. Basically, there's a gap in the wall around Sprout. Monsters come in and he's gonna be overwhelmed. It's gonna be game over. So one guy dies or woman, and it's all over. Or you get 5 setback cards. Those setback cards you will gain when there are monsters near Sprout at an opportune moment, but we'll get to that later. In any of these situations, the game ends immediately. Okay, let's check what we have to do. So in the beginning of the round, we will draw one event card. In the top, you see the top event, and the bottom, you see the bottom event. The top events will be checked first. So in the beginning of the round, we will check that first. So let's do that right now. Here it says all mobs attack the enemy allies with the highest health at their location. Allies get +1 action point this round. So at this moment, everyone that has a mob near them will be attacked. So we're going to ignore this for a second. I'll explain it later. And allies will get 1 action point this round. So this immediately happens. If on the top event there would be a delay event, it says delay, then you keep the card somewhere near, I always place it near Sprout because it's easy to see it's not near the deck. So it will trigger later at the end of the round. So this one does not, it automatically triggers, and we can just ignore it right now. Then everyone takes their turn. We have 4 players, so we have 4 player turns, but the turn order is not set. So we can decide who goes first. So, for example, Ursa has a mob near her. She could, for example, attack the monster first, so that one is dead before anything else happens. To I don't know, to do something else, or to make sure that monster does not move or whatever. So you kind of have to decide who goes first. Maybe Ursa wants to go first because she wants to heal Sprout before that character attacks him. Or maybe Lupe has a buff for everyone else. So Lupe wants to go first so she can buff everyone else so they can do some awesome stuff. You guys decide. When it's decided, for example, Lupe goes first, Lupe does everything in his turn. Once he's done, you will draw another event card. For example, you discard. You will check the bottom side for this. This says spawn a mob near you. So, for example, Lupe is still here. Another mob will spawn near him. During his turn, he has a couple of things he can do. You can check that also on your little cards or in the book. You have 4 action points. You have those little cards here that you can use. So, for example, you have 4 here. Let's do it like that. There you go. So, for example, he could attack this hunchback. Let's just draw 5 cards so you can see his hand. There you go. So for example, he could attack this guy. He has 1 hit point and no armor. So he could use the fist. It has 1 attack, and on the top left you see 1 wood. 1 wood means 1 action point, so he could turn over 1 action point and attack him with that 1 fist. 1 damage is enough to hurt him. So this guy goes down, and you can place it near the monster deck. So that one is dead. So we have 25 more to go, and then we win the game. This card goes back to the discard, and then he has 3 more action points. What can he do else? He can move, for example. Let's say he wants to move here. Let's say he goes there. That costs him 1 action point. As you can see, this guy has 3 hit points, so it's not gonna be easy to kill him. Fortunately, you are playing together. So, for example, this one costs 2 action points and it does 2 damage. He could place this card on there, meaning this Gobloid is damaged, is hurt, but it's not dead. That's okay, because later on in someone else's turn, they can do 1 more damage and I would actually kill him. So it works a little bit different than another game. I'll get back to that later. He could also, for example, stay there and he could buy a card. So there's some cool cards here. For example, this one is a free card. So every turn he gets that card, he can do 1 damage for free. So Lupe says, yes, please, I would like that. So I'll take that. That costs 1 action point. You could also say, okay, maybe I want to not only do damage, maybe I would like to root something, and I can root someone from afar. Rooting is important because you don't want the monsters to move towards Sprout. So if you can root this for example, on this location, it's gonna help Sprout be safe. So he could take that, but maybe Lupe is like, yeah, I'm always doing combat. Let's just say I would like to heal myself because the healer is always busy. I don't want to exert him. I would like to heal myself a little bit. Let's take the sunny day. So he can take that as well. Every time you buy something, you automatically add another one. So you always have 5 options. So for example, you don't do anything but buy cards. You buy one, you should take another one, you buy another one, you take another one. So you make sure there's always 5. You can also, for example, let's just say he just bought this and he's not really content about anything else. He asks the others, do you like any of these? And they say, no, we don't like it. Right now, there's really good cards in there, but let's just say nobody likes this card. So you could spend 1 action point to just discard this card. So you get another card, and this is a really good card. It's a expensive one, but it's a really, really good card. So Lupe is really happy about this, so that's okay. He could, for example, if he wanted and if he had 2 more action points, for example, he could just say, you know what, I have these 4 cards in my hand, and maybe this one is too expensive. I don't like this very much. It's a really good card, though. I wouldn't throw that away, but maybe Lupe really doesn't like it, the player that plays Lupe. He could spend 2 action points to discard this card. Sorry, not discard this, to remove this out of the game. That way, he's gonna have more cards that he really likes. So that's an option. He could, if he has 3 action points, he could completely remove all the cards in the market and take 5 more cards here. Place them. So the next player might have a better option. That's also an option. So that's it. So basically, you do your actions. You make sure you use all 4 actions because it's a bit silly not to use everything. Then you check the bottom event, and then it's someone else's turn. They do 4 actions, draw another event, check the bottom event, etc., until everyone has had a turn. If everyone has a turn, then we go to the end of the round phase. Now this is a little bit more complicated, but you can see that on your little white cards. It's all explained there as well. So first of all, we will be checking if there are ready, which means face-up characters, near allies. At this moment, everyone will attack someone. So for example, this one will attack Sprout, this one will assault Ursa, Blue will attack Quark, etc., etc. I will explain the damage later. Then we will check if there was a delay. Let me check, for example, this one. If we had this one in the beginning of the round, it says delay, then we would check it right now. Okay. Then if there is a ready untaunted mob near Sprout, which is slow, so this is ready because he's face up. He's not taunted. I'll get to that later. We will get a setback. So a setback is really bad. So right now this is a bad situation. Okay. So we are 1/5 to losing the game right now. Then we would check if there's a ready unrooted untaunted mob in a location. For example, these two mobs are ready because they're face up. They're not taunted and they are not rooted. As I explained earlier, we had this little card, for example. If we had this on that character, he would be rooted, so he would not be able to move. This character, however, is immune to root, so he can be rooted, so he's moving there. He could also be taunted, which is an ability Ursa has. Let me grab that for a second. So, for example, this, if Ursa has placed this, is taunted, which means the demon would be focused on Ursa and will not move to Sprout. Let's just say he's not taunted. He moves to Sprout. That's just a bad thing because there's more monsters there. It's gonna be harder to destroy all of them. And as long as there's monsters here that are ready to attack Sprout, we will be getting setbacks. So this is gonna be a problem. Then we check if there are monsters there. If there is no monster there, we will be getting a success. Sorry, I skipped something. First of all, you check whether or not there are locations in the starter locations where there is no character. For example, if Lupe would be here, there's no character here, there would be a monster spawning here. Just add a monster and that's it. It doesn't attack or anything, unless it specifically says on the card there's a ghost that automatically attacks. But right now there's no starter location without a character, so we do not spawn. Then we check whether or not there's monsters here. If there's no monster there, you will be getting a success. Right now there's 2 monsters, so we're getting no successes. If you get a success, you get actually a new monster to keep the game a bit in balance. So for example, let's say there's no monsters here, one monster spawns in one of these 4 locations. Even though there's players there, you can decide where it goes. So let's say Lupe says, you can give it to me, I have a lot of damage cards. You can place it there if you want, but you choose the location first and then you see what monster it is. So maybe he thinks it's like he's ready to fight something, and it turns out to be a monster that he can't kill, even though he has super abilities. But yeah, that's the game. Um, when you've done all these steps, return all action cards that are not used, that are not stay in play. So, for example, this is used. This will return to the owner. And then you turn face up, all the cards face up. For example, all the used action points you turn face up. If any monster was face down, you turn them face up, and then you start a new turn. Before I forget, when you use an action card, it is very important to angle the card towards your corner of the game. So, for example, if Quark had played this card, since Quark, since Quark is sitting over there, it is faced there. If, for example, Ursa would have played the card, it goes that way. That way you can see who owns the card. If it indicates, for example, if for example Ursa has played this card, it also has a paw, as you can see, this paw Well, it indicates it's his card. Plus, there's a big bear on the card, so it is Ursa's card. There's a big difference between this card because it doesn't have any icon on it, so you would not know whose card this is unless you angle it this way. So make sure you do that, otherwise this card may end up in somebody else's hand, and that's not supposed to happen. Okay, so let's recap that. I think that's a good idea. So first of all monsters attack. So you check all the monsters, they attack. Then you check whether or not there's a delay event. You check the event, does it happen or doesn't it happen? Were you able to mitigate something or not? Then you will check whether or not there are monsters here to check whether or not you get a setback. If there are mobs in all locations, I forgot that, you'll get 2 setback instead. So make sure there's not monsters in all the 5 locations. Then check if there's a mob that is able to move towards Sprout. If not, great. Then add a monster in locations where there's nobody. Well, there's no ally, sorry. Then check whether or not there's monsters here. And then if there's nobody here, you will get a success. So basically, if you killed everything here and you're able to block everything from moving there, for example, you taunted one here and you rooted one here, maybe you stunned one here, there's still 3 monsters, but there's nobody around Sprout, so you will get successes. Every success you get, you add another monster near in one of the starter locations. If there's no monsters in the game, you get 2 successes and you spawn 2 monsters. That's a really big success. If you can do that, you're playing well. Then draw a mob for each success gained. I said that. Then return all action cards. For example, this one will return there. This one also goes to the bear, for example, and then turn all cards face up. Okay, let me explain a little bit about the cards. So first of all, as I said, top left is the cost, bottom left is the damage you deal. You also have cards that have in the middle the hit points, and on the right you have the shield. Some action cards also have a leaf in the middle that is a healing card. These cards attack, healing, or defense. This one has all 3. Only attack the or damage or protect the location where it is played. For example, Luna wants to heal something here. Well, Luna is all by herself, so she can only heal herself. Unless she has an ability or the card says otherwise, she can only heal here. If it says ranged, for example, she could actually heal someone on another location. If it says global, she would be able to heal everyone around the game. So on all locations. Yeah. Okay. If, for example, as the useless trinket says, if it has 2 or even 3 of these icons, they all apply. So in this case, it applies as an attack, as a heal, and as a shield. Of course, this doesn't do anything unless you buff it with specific things. So basically, let's just say you have a card that says it buffs all the stats, for example, then it is 1 attack, 1 heal, and 1 shield. So you could defend yourself with 1, you could attack a monster for 1, and you could heal someone for 1, yourself or someone else. So that could be very powerful. Right now it's useless, but if it's buffed, it could be really powerful. Okay, attacking. Let's explain attacking. For example, right now there are 2 monsters near Sprout. These 2, I'm going to change this one for this one. It's gonna be easier. Okay, these two monsters are going to attack Sprout. One attack plus one attack is 2 damage. So basically you switch from 8 hit points to 6 hit points. Very easy, right? But what if Sprout is being protected by Ursa? Ursa has some protection cards. Let me search that one. Protection, there we go. Let's just say Ursa is protecting Sprout. Then we have 2 attack, minus 3 is 0, so Sprout is safe. It would not be attacked. In this case, if there's no protection card, let's just say Ursa just went there, didn't play any cards, the two monsters would always prioritize Sprout because for some reason they really hate him. They understand that Sprout is keeping the battle alive. If Sprout dies, the game is over. They win the forest. The forest will be corrupted, harvested for wood and whatnot. So yeah, they're really focused on Sprout. So right now, 2 damage will still go on him. And actually it's +1, so it's 3 damage because Sprout is unarmored. So I made a mistake there. So there you go. If, for example... So yeah, so you always count those things, like attack, you add everything up, and then you subtract the shield once. Let's just say, for example, there's combat here. There's 2 monsters and 2 players. So one will go there and one will go there. You can decide who goes where. Yeah. If there's only one, let's just say Hunchback is not in the game. If there's only one monster, it will go towards the one with the least hit points. So for example, let's say Lupe has 8 hit points, Ursa has 10. The demon will go on Lupe. Now, Ursa could actually taunt the demon or could protect Lupe so Lupe doesn't get damage. So that's where the protection and the tanking comes into play. If there's 3, let's just say there's 2 of these and 1 of this, then 2 will go on the one with the least hit points and 1 will go on that one. In this case, Ursa is already taking the demon. Ursa can actually maybe protect Lupe and tank maybe the Hunchback. So Lupe doesn't get any damage because he's protected by blue, and Ursa is stacking everything else. So that's also an option. It's explained in the game, in the rules as well, so you can refer that as well. Yep. When you attack as a player on a monster, let me explain that. So we had this character. So let's just say uh, on Lupe's turn, he attacks the strong with a strong bite on the Gobloid. As you can see, he has 3 hit points and he's only doing 2 damage. In a normal game, that wouldn't do anything and it probably would just go away. But this game, the damage goes. It's like a big battle. Everything's kind of happening the same, but not. So during the turn of Ursa in the same round, Ursa can actually do her fist. Let me check her fist. She can do a fist attack, which is 1 damage plus the 2 that Luna already did. So a total of 3, and then the Gobloid dies. So even though you're attacking the Gobloid in 2 different turns in 1 round, the second that the 3 damage has been dealt, it's dead. Now, the problem is, if this is not possible, by the end of the round, all these cards disappear and the Gobloid is safe from damage, and you'll have to do it all over again next round. So make sure you talk to each other, make sure you're able to do that. Sometimes there's going to be situations that somebody finds a better idea, and they're going to figure out something that is even better than just killing this one. Maybe they can stun him and kill something else, or maybe you can stun four monsters instead of killing one, which is great. So yeah. So remember that even though you're not able to kill something by yourself, it is important to work together, and then you actually can kill something. Okay. And I think that is that. I hope you guys are going to have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing this game myself and making this game. And I would say good luck. Bye bye.